Tammy Jernigan analyzes the photographs. They send the camera to Houston and they analyze the photographs there. They're telling us that some super lightning strike struck the shuttle. Now this is what happens with real lightning strikes. A video camera shoots 30 frames per second, or takes 30 video pictures per second. And on top of that you have shutter speed. You can have 1/100th of a second on that 1 out of 30 frames, or 1/1000th of a second, or 1/2000th of a second. So it's taking pictures. And it doesn't take more than 30 frames a second. And that tells us a lot about lightning, because these actual lightning strikes in Taos, New Mexico actually show how fast lightning actually pulses. And we can see, as I move this little clicker here, right here, I'm moving one frame. That's 1/30th of the entire second of 30 frames per second. So in one frame we can see a lightning strike. Can you zoom in on that strike? And then when I go to the second frame, the lightning strike is there. So 2/30ths of a second we still have the lightning strike. And on the third frame it doesn't exist. Now the impossibility of NASA's statement that this is a super lightning strike is ludicrous in this case. We're looking at 5 different exposures of 4 to 6 seconds each. And then you have to look at the time lapse where Peter Goldie had to actually press the shutter button again and again and again, each 5 times. So NASA is saying that the same lightning strike from beginning to end could appear for over 30 seconds. There is no such thing as a 30-second lightning strike. We are not looking at a lightning strike here. The reason I have to do these drawings is because legally I'm not allowed to use Dr. Peter Goldie's photographs, because he doesn't believe the American people deserve to see the truth about what happened to the shuttle Columbia on February 1st, 2003. What is the logic of a lightning strike striking in the shuttle? When the shuttle's coming in, it's coming in at 207,135 feet above the Earth, so it's miles above the Earth. It's doing Mach 18.3, which is 12.5 or so thousand miles an hour. And what you see in photograph number 1 is really quite stunning. You see this purple corkscrewing wave coming down from above, and it seems to be aiming right towards the space shuttle. When it crosses the space shuttle's path, the shuttle is now advanced because it's doing 12,500 miles an hour. And then it course corrects and turns and chases after the shuttle. That's photograph number 1. But in photograph number 2, this supposed lightning strike, and these are 4 to 6 second exposures on a tripod, the supposed lightning strike is still there. And then it's advancing on the shuttle. It's actually corkscrewing and chasing after the space shuttle. So whatever this thing is, it's not a lightning strike, because it's not pulsing, at an incredible, almost instantaneous speed, near the speed of light. And second, it's going a little bit faster than the shuttle, and it's chasing on it. It's trying to catch up to it. And in his third photograph, you can actually see this thing striking in the shuttle, and there's this burst of light, and everything is getting brighter. And once it strikes the shuttle in the third photograph, it doesn't fray out in any other direction. So there's no way we're looking at a lightning strike, and here's why. The lightning strike is there. So 2/30ths of a second, we still have the lightning strike. And on the third frame, it doesn't exist. So for 2/30ths of a second, which is 1/15th of a second, the lightning strike no longer exists. It's impossible. It's not there anymore. Now if we look at, there's another lightning strike in the same shot. This is frame number 1, frame number 2, and frame number 3. And that strike is 3/30ths of a second. So, which is actually 1/10th of a second. So the longest strike that I have in this shot is 1/10th of a second, which shows you why it's impossible that Peter Goldie's lightning strike supposedly shows up in all 5 different photographs that are 4 to 6 seconds long. A lightning strike from beginning to end, tail to end, cannot exist in a second photograph and a third and a fourth and so on. It's impossible. It can't actually happen. This is another example, just to give you some variation. This is kind of a long stretching strike. It's one of the longest ones I have. And we can see from the initial flash, 1 frame, 2, 3, 5 frames, 6, 7, 8, 10. 10 frames, which is 1/3 of a second. That's the longest stretching lightning strike that I have. We are looking at some kind of advanced weapon Definitely not a laser, because a laser would travel at the speed of light. It would be instantaneous. is some kind of a munition. It's not a bullet, because bullets travel at 1,500 miles an hour. It's not the Stinger missile or the Sidewinder, because those missiles are traveling at around Mach 3, and the space shuttle is doing Mach 18. So if the space shuttle is doing Mach 18, the missile has to be doing at least Mach 19 or 20 to catch up to it in just a few seconds, and possibly, even twice as fast. So we're looking at something that is off the charts. The only missile we have that can do Mach 18 or greater, slightly greater, is the Trident missile or the Minuteman missile, which are nuclear ICBMs. There's no way we're firing a nuclear missile at the space shuttle. That's ludicrous. And the incoming is coming from above, not down on the ground. So this thing is coming from outer space. So what could it actually be? Was the space shuttle shot down by extraterrestrials? Is there a war going on here, and why would they do it? Or is it a Star Wars test that went awry? There was an accident and NASA didn't want us to know.
Since 8 a.m., no communications were received with Columbia, and no tracking data received through the Merritt Island tracking station. Those efforts made, the flight dynamics officer reports no objects tracked through that tracking data.